Did you know that it only takes 7 seconds for somebody to make a first impression of you? And when you make a better first impression, you'll make more sales as a result because it establishes trust and positions you as a trusted authority. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to double your sales by improving your first impression and how people perceive you when they meet you for the very first time. How would you like to double your sales by improving your first impression? Studies show that it only takes 7 seconds for somebody to make a first impression of you, and how they perceive you greatly influences whether or not they trust you and whether or not they do business with you. If somebody doesn't trust you or find you trustworthy, it's highly unlikely that they're going to work with you. So making a really good first impression is absolutely crucial for you to make more sales and to grow your business. So let's talk about 7 tips that you can do to make a better first impression. But before we get into it, there's something you should know. The same research that shows it only takes 7 seconds to make a first impression also say that it takes meeting that same person 7 more times to change the first impression that they made of you. And in sales, most people don't get 7 shots to improve the first impression. So making it count is really important. That's why it's so crucial to ensure that the first impression people make of you is a good one. And a great way to make a good first impression is to have your own book like the ones we offer at Authorify.com. If you don't have one already, go to Authorify.com and learn how you can get your very own book. The first step to making a good impression is to become aware of how people perceive you currently. How do they look at you today? According to Harvard researchers, 55% of first impressions is based solely on visual cues. So here's how to evaluate your first impression. The first step is to ask either a friend, a peer, a mentor, or a coach, or somebody that you trust and somebody that's willing to be honest with you. You could obviously go and talk to your spouse or significant other or someone in your family, but if you're not sure if they're going to give you like candid feedback, and if you're not sure if they're willing to hurt your feelings, so to speak, or you're going to get like bothered by what they say, then I wouldn't jeopardize those relationships by doing it. So go to somebody who's going to be really honest with you and that is going to want to help you and also is willing to give you really candid feedback. And then have them evaluate you on the following things. One is your clothes. How do you dress? What could you change on your wardrobe to increase your first impression? There may be a simple little thing that you can change or something that you could wear differently, or tailoring your outfit or your suit or your jacket or your pants or whatever it is that they could say, hey, listen, if you just did this, you would come across so much better. Another one is jewelry. You can wear too much jewelry and make a bad impression, or you could wear nothing and it's really up to you. So jewelry may be another way that you can do it. Also your hairstyle. If there's some small little tweaks that you could change to up level and change your game, why not do it? It also may impress your spouse, your family, your friends, and people in your personal life and make you feel more confident and better as a person. And another one that is probably one of the more sensitive topics is grooming. You know, how you trim your nails and keep your body looking right and looking great and looking vibrant can really make an impact. Getting somebody who's really honest and willing to give you that feedback could really help you make more sales. Plus, evaluate what you send to prospects before you meet them. For example, send them a book instead of a business card. And if you don't have a book, go to Authorify.com to discover how to create one. So let's get down to the 7 ways to improve your first impression within the first 7 seconds, because the first 7 seconds are the most important part of when you meet somebody. The first one is to smile more. People who are genuinely happy and give off a happy vibe will make other people happy, will make them feel more comfortable, it'll make them feel warm and fuzzy inside, and it's just more fun to talk to happy people. The other thing is, even when you're not meeting somebody face to face, if you're talking to them over the phone, studies show that when you smile as you talk, like I'm doing now, it will help project that feeling in a warm and better feeling across the phone, through the phone. There's studies out there that prove this. So smiling is a really good step. I constantly am telling myself, hey, smile while you talk, even while on camera. It's sometimes hard, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It may feel unnatural at first, but try it. It's helped me, and I'm always saying, hey, Calvin, smile more. You're on camera. My brother was watching one of my videos the other day, and he's like, hey, Calvin, why don't you smile more in your videos? And I was like, hey, good point. So smiling more is a really good first step. Another one is to lean forward slightly when you're talking to people. So let's look at my posture for an example. If I'm kind of sitting back, looking cool, or acting like, hey man, what's up? I'm gonna give off a very different vibe than when I'm leaning forward, I'm paying attention to you, and I'm having a genuine and intimate conversation. When you lean forward, it makes you more approachable, and it shows people you're really listening to what they have to say. So lean forward, pay attention, and actively listen. There's many books out there that talked about actively listening and paying attention to the person you're talking to. It's gonna make them feel more comfortable and genuine and like they're important to you and what they have to say. You're listening and you're engaging with it. So lean forward and be engaged. Another one is look people in the eye when you're talking to them. And avoid shifting your eyes from side to side and looking around in a conversation. If someone's kind of aloof when you shake their hand, for example, and they're looking off to the side and they're looking all over the place, it makes you feel uncomfortable. And I know that this is one of the biggest things, even when hey, it's so nice to meet you. Look that person in the eye, smile, and be genuine and warm towards them. And if you're not comfortable with this, practice it. Look at yourself in the mirror. It may feel so strange looking at yourself in the mirror and smiling and shaking an invisible hand, but I'll bet you money it will help you. It'll make you feel more comfortable, and it'll just help you get just comfortable being comfortable with people and in person. I know it sounds stupid, but trust me, it works. I've done it. I feel like an idiot the first time or two, but it really does work. And there's also a lot of studies that back this up. For example, one done in 2007 found that looking your conversation partner in the eye was a huge determining factor in your perceived intelligence. So if you want to look smarter, look people in the eye. Study shows it works. Another one is to mimic other people's body language. If they talk slow and they're more of a laid-back personality, then mimic it. Slow down your language. Lower your voice. You wouldn't want to have, my strong, aggressive personality on somebody who's a laid back and more quiet individual. So practice mirroring the person. In sales, mirroring the person is a common trait and a skill that most salespeople learn. So learn how to mirror them and change your tonality and your demeanor and how you act when you're meeting people face to face. It will help. Me, I have a very aggressive personality, and I'm sure it comes across in my videos. But if I'm selling and I'm meeting you face to face, I'm gonna do the best I can to mirror your personality, mirror your, of course I'm not gonna do it in a genuine way, but if I can make you feel more comfortable, we're gonna have a better time talking. And if we were in a sales conversation, it'd make you feel more comfortable, more likely to do business with me. So mimicking people, this doesn't mean you need to be copying their every move, but rather using similar hand gestures or smiling or laughing, and even the speed of your talk when they laugh and when you engage with them. So again, it's not about being ingenuine, it's about making the person feel comfortable and just slowing down and doing whatever it is that they do. The fifth tip is to dress appropriately, or at least in a professional manner. If you're out selling to people who are selling horse properties, for example, and you're listing their horse properties, you don't want to show up in a suit and tie. Showing up in cowboy boots, jeans, and a cowboy hat would probably be very appropriate for that type of customer. If you're selling to a blue-collar worker, showing up in a fancy suit and tie is probably going to intimidate them. But at the same time, if you show up in pajamas, you're also not going to win the business. So of course this kind of goes without saying, so I won't spend much time here, but dress appropriately and figure out what wardrobe makes sense for the type of clients that you're meeting. If you're meeting with very affluent, business class type of people, wearing a suit and tie is probably going to be the business standard when you're going out and meeting them. So think about that and think of who am I attracting and who am I meeting and what is the appropriate dress when I want to convert them into business. Tip number 6 is very similar to the fifth one, which is to have your clothes tailored. In 2013, there was a study done where participants looked at a photo of men in tailored outfits versus off-the-rack suits that they could throw on in just like 5 seconds and fit to them, right? The men in tailored suits were rated as more successful, more intelligent, and if you look at yourself, like my wife always picks on me like, hey, you need to have this slimmed in here, and she's like, when you have your suit fit you, it looks so much better. When I did, before she would give me these tips, I didn't really notice the difference. They'd look a little baggy on me and they just didn't look as good. So if you can have your suits or your outfits tailored or fit you better, it's going to make you look more professional and help people perceive you better. Tip number 7 is to bring helpful information that will help buyers or sellers or prospects that you're meeting with make a more informed buying decision. When you hand somebody your book versus a business card with helpful information, you immediately establish yourself as an expert and an authority, and you gain their respect. This is why a book is so powerful versus using the standard marketing material as everyone else. It makes you look better. It makes a better first impression. And if you don't already have a book, go to authorify.com to discover how to create one. And let me end with this. Research has found that honesty and integrity are the most important factors when people are deciding who to work with. And according to Princeton researchers, people decide on your trustworthiness in 1/10 of a second. So don't leave your first impression to chance. Get out there and improve it. Look at yourself in the mirror and see your sales go up as a result of making a better first impression. And if you don't already have a book and you're not using one in your business, go to authorify.com to learn how to get a book, create a book, and use it to establish authority in your market, to make a better first impression, and to start closing more sales. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to get more videos like this, and let me know what you think of it, and if you have any other tips or things that you've learned that work to make a really good first impression in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.